They released a statement not too long ago basically saying, yesterday we were contacted by Nintendo regarding Project Plus, Beyond Melee, and 64 Remix at Low Tide City. Unfortunately, as a result of that conversation, we are removing these events from LTC. We understand how difficult this is for these communities, and we will soon be contacting our players registered for these events for further information regarding refunds. So basically, they sent a nice little, I'm pretty sure it was very, very professional and very, very nicely written, letting them know that, hey, stop what you. So they stopped what they're doing. And so there's 3 different games that they had to stop basically running, which was Melee, Smash 64, and Brawl Project Plus. So this has been like a constant thing lately with Nintendo. Like we've seen constantly this year, like over and over and over. If it's not Ultimate, Nintendo is contacting you, and all of a sudden, I guess they whispering that Batman, and then they just be like, "All right, man, we finna go ahead and we go stop it." So going to you, Mr. Game and Lift, like, how do you feel about this? Like, just, I mean, what can you really say at this point about the the Nintendo shenanigans, the Nintendo?
I mean, it's Nintendo, man. What,
Pretty
you know,
much.
like Nintendo what Sega do what Nintendo don't, and Nintendo don't play about nothing. So it's just like it's like, I mean, we just got through talking about them. Like I said, I don't know if it was already predetermined to be on the 5th of October, but we just got done talking about them announcing this final character, which is probably going to be something insane that we're not expecting on the 5th of the release of Nick Brawl All Stars, a game which is obviously a Smash clone. So they're like, "Oh, you making the Smash clone, huh?" All right, and they like, release the Kraken or something like that. Just they're gonna give us the Avengers in Smash Brothers. Like what? Tony Stark,
That would be fire.
Thor, and like
That would be crazy.
they do something like that. Like bro, like Nick has no hope. Like no hope at all. So this whole thing about them like just shutting down, I really don't understand it, man. It's like, yeah, I know y'all they make the games, but it's like at the same time, like these competitions and these events, a lot of these players have helped like shape the popularity of your game. Like I mean, people fought so hard for Melee, a game that's 20-something years old, to be brought back at recent Evos, and it's like y'all didn't do that. The fans, the consumers did that. Like they love the game that much, they want to play it. Like I just really unless somebody was trying to do something shady and underhanded with my IP, like trying to I don't know, make it their own and sell it or some way, like trying to make a good profit off it or something like that. I wouldn't, if they just want to make a different version of the game, update something, or just play an older game that we're not like. The thing is, not even supporting these older games.
They're not even
It's not like,
selling them. They don't
yeah,
even want to make money off of them.
yeah, you're not even selling them, or you're not updating them, supporting them. But the community loves the game so much that they like, look, we still like we playing this. We gon' so it's like if I had somebody and they love some of my work that much, I'm like, hey man, y'all can just as long as y'all not doing nothing shady or whatever, or if y'all are trying to make something where you're trying to profit off of it, just let me know. Maybe we can set something up. But it's like Nintendo, like, no, stop it. We ain't said no more. The only thing you setting up is not that game. Play Ultimate. Like it's just like I don't know, man. And I don't. I'm not a developer. I'm not a head of a CEO of these companies. So I don't know the ins and outs. Maybe there's a solid reason that they're like so adamant about it, but I just feel like they're just doing it. Just like it's just kind of unnecessary. Like these people want to play the game, they want to sell these events, and y'all just like no. It's like what? Hey, like what you make the game for? I mean, I know you made the game to make money, but then you made the game for us to enjoy the game and like it. Some of the most popular games in the history of gaming, and you just like you're not playing it. But we want to play. No, stop it. It's just like I don't know, man. That's it, and it's been like every time. It's like it's never failed. Well, I mean, they didn't want Smash it Melee at Evo, I think, like when they were trying to bring it back. I'm just like, man, like y'all don't want this 20-year-old game at the biggest fighting game tournament in the world. That's kind of crazy to me.
And
It's
the
kind of
crazy part
bringing
about it don't take away from Ultimate. Like
that's
both
yeah.
of them blow up. It don't take away from Ultimate at all.
That's what I'm saying. Is it's like I don't know, man. At this point, I really have no solid answer of what what they're doing. It does seem a little overboard that they just every time something happens with an event that's not Ultimate, they just like we shutting it down, and there's nothing you can do about it. So it's gotta be a little frustrating for the people that actually really like these games and want to play them. But at the end of the day, man, like I feel like they could at least give you an option, like settle on the e-store or something. Like, hey, y'all want this game this bad? All right, we'll put it back up. But I can't even give you money for the game. I can't even buy the game. So Nintendo, man, Nintendo does what Sega does what Nintendo don't, and Nintendo don't play.
Well, I'm gonna be 100% like normally I wouldn't be able to understand what they were doing here, but I'm going to try to be cynical and just give you my opinion. So when you say that like Melee, people playing Melee doesn't take away from Ultimate, I think in their eyes it does. Because as far as they're concerned, as long as there are people playing Melee, that's people that are playing Melee that aren't playing like the newest game. You know what I mean? Like it's like when back when people were talking about like backwards compatibility. It's like, well, why are we going to support backwards compatibility if like the people are going to just be buying old games instead of buying the new games? That you know what I mean? Like people are just going to be buying like old used games that we're not making money off of instead of buying the new games like straight from like GameStop or Walmart or whatever whatever distributor we give them to. So there's that. And in addition to that, like it's just like, man, yeah, like I said, like it kind of, I mean, as far as they're concerned, it's like it's weird because technically speaking, like they're not making any money off of it. You know what I mean? Like they're really not making like any money off of any of these like what's called these games being featured in any of these tournaments. And I mean, even with like what's called, I mean, as far as I know, like they don't really make any money off of like it like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate being showcased at any given tournament. So it's like, well, what's the difference between those games and this game? Well, because there's still like it's almost like there are these toys, like you say, you have these toys in the toy box, and you're not allowed to touch them unless we say you're allowed to touch them. We're not going to be using them, we're not going to be touching them at all. But the fact that you're using them without our permission, that's a big deal. So they're like, no, you can't use the toys without our permission. CND, cease and desist immediately. So like, yeah, like I feel like it's more like as long as people are focused on other games, like they feel like, I don't know, maybe there's a completely different reason, but it always seems like, well, if they're not thinking about playing like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, we'll give them a reason to think about playing Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. Stop playing that game. Go out there and buy a copy of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate and focus on the game that we want you to focus on. Because I can guarantee you, in about like, let's say that this isn't the last like Super Smash Bros. Game, right? Like that they make another Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, like you said, if they like money, which we know they do. We know they love money. So what happens in like 10 years, and then people are like, you know what? I think Super Smash Bros. Ultimate is the best version of the game. So what happens? They're making tournaments for that. Then what's going to happen after that? Cease and desist. We're not making any money off of Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. We don't even make that game anymore. We're not making new versions. We're making new carts of that game. We're not selling that on like the Nintendo switch back over the front and side to side. We're not making money off of that. What we need you to do is stop buying that game. We need you to buy the new game. We need you to buy Super Smash Brothers Mega Tornado like on the beach, like something like that. They need you to buy the new game. They're always going to be wanting you to buy the new game and forget about the old game. As far as they're concerned, the old games exist, but to you, they better not, because they need you to buy the new game. They need you to support the new game because they need you to buy the game. They need you to buy the console it's on. They need you to buy all of the because like if somebody's playing Super Smash Bros. Melee and they're focusing on just playing that, then that's a person who's not buying Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. They're not paying for the online to play with their friends on the Switch. They probably haven't bought a Switch yet, even like in that case. And then like they're not paying for the what's called the characters, which means they're not buying the character packs. So that's like five different things that you're not buying just because you're focused on a game that they've already released that they're not supporting it anymore. Like they need that money. They don't need that money, but in their minds, they need that money. So they need you to stop playing those old games and focus on Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, of course, until Super Smash Bros. Mega Tornado on the Beach comes out. So yeah, man, I mean, I don't like it. But like at the same time, I mean, like cynically, I can understand the mindset of something like that. But it's just like, just let people play the games. Like they've already been out for so many years. People have like you're saying, like so much support has come from the community. But I mean, if you're always worried about your bottom line, it doesn't matter, man. And as far as we've seen, like Nintendo just does what they want, man. Because when it comes down to it, like most people, they're gonna support them anyway. Like no matter what, like they're gonna be like Nintendo's just gonna do what they want, and then people are gonna be mad, like and just do it. Like they're just gonna come back anyway. So that's Nintendo for you, man. I mean, like we shouldn't be surprised by this at this point. Like they've already pretty much put it out there. It's like, hey, man, like this is what we're all about.
Yeah, I'm gonna come at it from a standpoint like um, you know, Nintendo was obviously founded, created in Japan, so that's basically Eastern Hemisphere of the world. We're in the Western Hemisphere of the world, so you have to think it's like two totally different cultures. So the way that they think about things, the way that they go about things, the beliefs that they practice and stuff like that would probably be totally different. Not probably. It's totally different from how America sees things and views things and stuff like that. Then when you go back and you think like, okay, so when like, we understand it's a different culture, but then they also come from like a totally different time. Like if you go and look when Nintendo was founded, it was 1889. 1889. So the usually when companies are founded, they are founded with a set of principles, a set of rules, a set of values that they hold on to. So culture is something that many different groups of people hold, true and stuff like that, and they pass down from generation to generation. Not many places change their culture as much as Americans do, you know. So you probably have to think like a lot of those morals and values that they held in 1889 are probably still like within the company today. And one thing I noticed about Nintendo a lot is like when you look at like Microsoft or Sony, like when they do their showcases and stuff like that, you see a lot of variety of people. You see young, you see older, you see like the younger, you see the execs, you see like different types of people. When you watch Nintendo showcases, it's the same people. You know who gonna be there. The same dudes, the dudes in the suits who seem like they do playful things, but a lot of times it just seem like they just doing it for the show. Like just recently they had the dude making the 3 for Splatoon 3, and it's like, I don't know if you really act like that in real life, bro. But so you just have to come at things from a different, you got to try to come at it from a different side. Like, okay, I understand my side. Like my side is that this is crazy. We go play both. We enjoy, but it's like you kind of gotta like, okay, let me go and see it from their side of the room, and that's kind of like what E was doing. And when you go back and you like kind of look at it like that from different cultures, the time that they were made, maybe the values and the way that they do their company, and Nintendo, they don't change much. Like I said, like the same people that you see at these showcases are the same people that you've seen forever at these showcases. Like nobody really, like nobody different unless Reggie left the company and all that other stuff, and they had one of their members that passed away recently. Well, other than that, it's like who's gonna be there, So a lot of like just really trying to dig into their mind. We might not understand it coming from our viewpoint, coming from the type of culture that we grew up in, the type of things that we hold true and value. We might just not get it, and it doesn't seem like they're gonna come out and explain it. They're just gonna keep doing business as usual. So, really, like we talked about this before the podcast. If you really want to see change and stuff like that, it's gonna have to be with your wallet, man. But I believe Nintendo really has like a stronghold on people who really don't look at it like in depth like us. I know when I was growing up, I didn't know the ins and outs of what was happening at Sony or Nintendo and all this. I mean, shoot, it was Christmas. I wanted the new Ninja Turtles that came out on PlayStation. Like that's all I knew. I didn't know how they was running their business. I just wanted the game. So that's how a lot of people, that's how a lot of their customers are doing stuff. They don't know that Nintendo is jipping us out of these tournaments. They just like, man, like the new Smash character coming out, I'm hyped. So that's all they know. So it's so many different ways you can look at it. So, but at the end of the day, yeah, it still sucks. We're in the competitive scene. We want to play these games competitively and stuff like that. We want this for the strive, no guilty gear. But at the end of the day, like, they just go do their business how they doing it. And we just go, if we know how they're gonna be now, we just need to find some way to work around it. If they're not gonna work with us, we gotta find some way to work around it. So anybody else have anything to add? Well, appreciate y'all for coming to my TED Talk also.